Greetings, wonderful humans, and happy Independence Day to you all. My name is Anthony.
And my name is Eric.
And we are the Board Game Dads, back here with another board game holiday spotlight on the 4th of July. But Eric, not only is this a board game holiday spotlight, this is just part one in our Board Game Dads summer block party.
7 themes of summer.
Exactly. We are featuring the 7 themes of summer. If you have no idea what we're talking about, stop right now. Go back to last week's episode where we do our kickoff special, basically tell you everything about the content that's coming your way this summer. You'll hear what the 7 themes are, so you know what videos to expect over the next few weeks. And basically just talking a lot about summer. That being said, I'm going to mention it now and probably again. We want to see comments from y'all. We want to see comments on any video that you watch, whether it's all of them or just one. Let us know in the comments what you think about summer, what you love about summer, memories of summer, games you like to play in summer, or anything that has to do with the topic that we're talking about that particular day. We want to know because, Eric, what's happening at the very end of all this?
We are going to do a live error-filled episode featuring your comments live and from the previous videos. And we're going to try and have some answers for some of these questions. And we're going to have some comments on these comments. And it's going to be fun. I've never done a live show before. So this is going to be interesting.
We're looking forward to it.
Error-filled.
Yes, it's going to be interesting for sure. For sure. So yeah, keep that in mind. Mark your calendars. That, I believe, is the 18th of August. That will be the end of the block party, so keep that in mind. All right, so our first theme of summer is July 4th, Independence Day. Eric, did you know that July 4th was almost July 2nd?
I did not, but I did know that July 4th was almost July 3rd. Really, though, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And the 5th, I guess.
And the 5th. They're a little closer than the 2nd.
So, from what I understand, the actual declaration was on July 2nd. It was then, it was approved, but then went through the whole Congress thing, and they changed a little bit of the wording. And, by the time it was approved fully, It was a couple of days later. So 4th of July, I think, sounds better than 2nd, but if it was 2nd, we probably would never know what 4th of July wouldn't even be a thing. So I'm already way off topic. Let's get back
Regardless, it'll always be called Independence Day.
Well, that's true. That's true. 13 colonies.
In America.
13 colonies said enough with this British monarchy business. We want to do our own thing over here. So theme 1 is July 4th. Eric, what comes to mind when you think of the 4th of July?
Well, red, white, and blue. As you can see, I'm decked out here. I happen to own the exact same sunglasses and bandana, close bandana, as this Abraham Lincoln t-shirt that I got. And so I'm rocking it.
Nice. I hope if the multiverse does exist, that there is a universe somewhere where Abraham Lincoln is wearing a shirt with your face on it.
That would be amazing.
So red, white, and blue. Yeah, get those flags out, those colors out. Right. What else?
Barbecues, hot dogs, beer, cheeseburgers.
Yeah, a lot of cooking. Parades sometimes.
Watermelon.
Oh yeah.
And fireworks at night.
That's true.
That's pretty much what a lot of people get excited about 4th of July for. I'm here in Pennsylvania, and I know that from the 2nd or 3rd through the summer, there's going to be a lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
Specifically, within that week. It's not just that one night. My dog hates it. She's gotten better through the years, but Zoe, my daughter, seems to love it. So we're excited about that. She's going to get to see some fireworks again. We had the sparklers back in Memorial Day, so maybe we'll let her play with the sparkler.
I actually heard some fireworks around here on Memorial Day weekend as well. So it's starting early. But yeah, fireworks as a kid, such a magical thing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see our children experience that for the first time. All right, now we're here to talk about games. And we typically bring two games to the table each, which will happen today. And then we also, before that, typically do a couple of honorable mentions. So, Eric, I know you have one sort of, not a specific game, but kind of like a
I have
genre,
a
right?
very vague honorable mention, and it's pretty much any game having to do with the Revolutionary War or Independence Day or anything like that. Take all those games that I haven't played and don't own, pick the best few. Those are my honorable mentions.
You're really good at that stuff. Pick the best one. Yeah, I know there is a game called 1776 Rebellion, I think. I don't know much about those war games at all. They don't interest me too much, but I don't know. I guess if they were there and someone was like, I'll teach you this game, I'd probably give it a shot. I've got a quick one here that is a game that's pretty popular, and I've actually never played it, but it's certainly an older game at this point, and that's called Hanabi, which is a game about fireworks display. It's a co-op. You're working together to put on the best display with your teammates, and it's one of those games where it's sort of like what is that? Cockroach poker? Is that the game where you or there's a poker variant where you put a card on your head, right? And everybody can see it except you. You know what I'm talking about? That's how
I
Hanabi
haven't
works.
played
So,
poker in years, and it was always Texas Hold'em. And then
well,
I
yeah.
found board games, and I was like, poker? That's so boring.
But in Hanabi, you can see what everyone else has, but you don't know what you have, and then there's some communication after that. I've never played it, but it is about fireworks. So there's that. All right. How about some real picks, though?
All right. I guess I'll kick this off because you just stole my thunder with the fireworks. My pick is called Lanterns Dice, and it's about fireworks. It's a roll and write, and what's interesting about this particular roll and write is that you have this little square tray. It doesn't matter how many people playing, 2, 3, or 4. You can't play more than that. You roll them, and then when they land in their square shape inside that little tray, you have to position that so that each die is facing a player, and that player is going to get that color and be able to fill that color in on their sheet.
So that tray comes with the game?
That tray comes with the game.
Okay.
That little square tray that the 4 dice are in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do. So in a 2-player game, it's whatever die you pick, and then the one on the opposite is going to be the other person. Or you can have it on the one on the left or whatever, and then the other 2 dice are just whatever. But when you roll, you get to choose. When the other person rolls, they get to choose. So you're filling out these colors, and each one's a triangle. And when you get both triangles inside a square, which is like a pool or lanterns or something, you're going to have a full block. And if you can get these full blocks so that these polyomino shapes will fit over them, you'll get the polyomino shapes, you put them out, and those are the nice, pretty fireworks. And then you'll get points for all those at the end of the game. And it's a fun little roll and write. It's difficult to play over Zoom simply because you have to have the did we try this one on Zoom or no?
No, I've never tried this game.
And you have to position it so that it's pointing at certain people, and that might be difficult. And as I recall, and it's been a month or two, or a few months probably since I played this game, it's a little bit on the longer side for a roll and write. I could be wrong, but I think that was the case when we played it a few times.
Interesting.
But regardless, I bought this game after New Year's because I was like, oh man, I want to get a game about fireworks for New Year's and July 4th. So here it is, July 4th. See you guys New Year's.
Yeah, really. I don't know if there's any games that are about New Year's Eve. It's kind of a weird thing to be about.
Holiday Flux, which is about those main 4 holidays.
Right.
End of the year.
So this is longer. You said this is longer for a roll and write.
I believe so.
Roll and write. Is it longer than than the regular Lanterns game, the first one?
I don't remember. I haven't played Lanterns in a while. It wasn't the best 2-player game for us.
Right.
So, and we haven't had a lot of people over because we've been in a pandemic.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
There's that. Yep, I would definitely check that one out. All right, on
Also,
to.
I do
Oh,
want to point
sorry.
out that I am
Yes, sir.
drinking a red, white, and blue beer. However, it was imported from Canada.
Ah,
That's all I had in the fridge. This and Moosehead.
also Canadian.
Yeah. So I went with the red, white, and blue.
There you go. All right. So my first red, white, and blue pick here is a game that was sort of mentioned a while ago, a little while ago, when Eric and I did our International Dinosaur Day video, and Eric mentioned Card Line. That's the dinosaur one called, right? Card
Mhm.
Line. Yeah. So in the same family is Timeline, which I think came first. This one in particular is Timeline, the Americana theme, which basically has all kinds of events throughout American history, but not just like political events, like pop culture stuff and sports and
Hmm.
all kinds of things. So, like, you might see a card that's about baseball, and then one that's about like the Big Bang Theory is in one of them, and then might be one that's about the Stetson hat or something that old. So basically, in this game, you're trying to get rid of all of your cards first. You get a hand of 5 cards, and when you get these cards, all you can see is the card, the artwork on the card, and what the thing is, like the title of it. On the back is the date, which you can't see. So you start the game with one card that you randomly draw, and that starts your timeline. So from that point on, when it's your turn, you're going to choose one of your cards and put it to either the left or right of the card in the middle on the table, if you think it came before or after that thing. So you put it out, flip it over, check if you're right. If you're right, great, stays in the timeline. If you're wrong, you chuck it and you have to draw another card. And that's it. You basically want to get rid of all your cards first. That's how you win the game. It's a quick one. It's got lots of different themes to it. I don't know how many timeline card lines there are, but there's a whole bunch. But there's some crossover. There's like I have the Americana one. I believe I have inventions as well. I think there might be some cards that are in both of those games, for example, if it was an American invention. I think. I
Now,
don't know for sure, but
I have a question. Those look like regular cards, like regular shaped cards.
yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I thought of that earlier today and forgot about it until now. You said that the dinosaur one is tarot sized cards, right?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah, these are not only smaller than that, these are like the tiny cards,
Huh.
like the first Ticket to Ride train cards when they were
Oh, wow.
small.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Which is fine. I mean, because you put them in a line, it does start to take up a lot of room, especially if you have multiple players. So I guess there's that, but
Yeah, you probably have a lot more out there than some of the other games with the
I
giant
think
cards.
so. Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. But yeah, that's Timeline. Cool one. Lots of variety out there, and a fast one to get to the table as well.
All right. So I'm next.
You are next. I don't think I skipped anybody. Yeah.
Okay. So my final pick is it's a little bit of a cheat. I guess my first one was a little bit of a cheat. No, I guess it was about fireworks. Whatever. This one is all game expansions that have Captain America. Right. I got my Captain America right here, my little action figure from I don't know 2000 something, and I love Captain America. I've actually always been more of a X-Men fan and some of like the Marvel Knights like Ghost Rider and Punisher and people like that. But I always like Captain America, so he's actually my favorite Avenger.
Okay.
So, of all these games that Captain America has been a part of in an expansion, all of them. That's it. That's my pick.
Okay. So we're gonna go through several
Yeah,
different games.
I think we
for
got
this
about
pick.
5.
Right. You always manage to get to shoehorn a bunch of
I
things
know.
into one thing.
I
That's
know,
impressive.
especially these last 2 videos. But some of Block Party. We're just giving you more games to check out if you haven't heard of them, or if you're looking for something with theme.
All right, so let's take a look at the first one here.
Let's see what we got. Oh, this is HeroClix. Okay, this I talked about HeroClix before. It's a miniatures game. It's a collectible miniatures game, and It's the only miniatures game I own because I spent enough money on these hero clicks that why would I spend money on a miniatures game that doesn't feature comic book characters? So as you can see in the picture, I have several different iterations of Captain America. Each one has their own card, and it's fun. It's a fun game. You can play with all of them actually. There's no
Okay.
as long as it's all about how many points each one's worth, and then you fight against somebody else. 2-player game, but yeah, that's one of them. What
Well,
else
so
we
now
got?
let me ask you a question though before we go to the next one. So the one in the back, that's I'm assuming him frozen.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Okay.
frozen in that one, and I believe it's been a while, but I believe that at a certain point he unfreezes, and then one of these other ones he becomes them.
Okay, I was gonna say, what do you do with your,
You like swap them
him?
out. With
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at what's next here. Let's see.
Oh, so Marvel Legendary. That technically, I don't know what expansion Captain America came from, or if he was in the base game. But Marvel Legendary is a deck building game that's cooperative. It's called semi-cooperative, but we don't play it like that. I'm not trying to beat you while playing a cooperative game. I think that's silly. But it's your typical deck building game, and Captain America is one of a whole bunch of characters that you can choose to be. You get to be, I think, 5 characters. You make your deck. This game's got a lot of setup and a lot of takedown, and it's got a pretty swingy difficulty level. Sometimes it can be really, really difficult, or it can be super easy. And when it's really, really difficult, oh man, you can be out of that game in like 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, mentally. Mentally out of the game, just be like, all right, I'm done with this. But it's fun. We'll keep coming back to it. However, it's been a while because we've been focusing more on Marvel Champions.
I've heard of that game.
Yeah, I've talked about that game.
Oh, look, here it is.
Oh, look at that one. It's Marvel Champions. It's Captain America. I think he was actually the first expansion that we bought. He was the first expansion that I played as. We bought him and Ms. Marvel. And out of all the characters in Marvel Champions, he's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, just character-wise. And, the hero deck's good too, but they're all good. So,
So now that we saw this one, I want to ask a question about Marvel Legendary. So are there campaigns in Legendary like there are in Marvel Champions?
In Legendary? Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there are. If there are, then they came out in an expansion that I never got. Or maybe it's one of the other legendaries that's not Marvel. I think there's like Alien Encounters Legendary, something like that. And I'm not really sure.
Gotcha. All right, let's see. How many more we got here? All right. Here's a game that has cool looking dice. I've just never managed to wrap my head around the rules of this one.
So this is Dice Masters, and if you ever played Quarriors, it's basically the same game. Each one of those dice has a few different sides. Some of them will just give energy. Some of them will have a character side that you can pay for, and then you field that character, and he comes out and he's in your play area to defend against attacks from an opponent or to make attacks. And so it's a deck building game, but it's with dice, so it's a bag building game. So you reach into your bag, you pull a certain amount of dice, you roll them out, and whenever you roll, you use some to spend on bringing out the others or doing special powers. And each character has a dot, but they have different cards, and so they'll cost more, but it's the same dice. And yeah. So it's got a lot going on. It's really cool. There is a lot. When you have these dice, there's a lot of like, all right, well, these go over here, but then these go over here, and then some of these go over here. There's a little bit of that going on in this game, and it's been a while since I played it. But Captain America, July 4th.
So similar to Hero Clicks, which we talked about back in the Superhero Day video. You talked about how that's a difficult game to teach, and I think Dice Masters is a little bit as well. And
I don't think Dice Masters is a difficult game to teach. I think it could be a difficult game to learn, though.
Right. Okay. So yes, let me rephrase then. So that being said, I'm bringing this up because we talked about the issue of you're then almost teaching the person what moves to do in order to defeat you.
Yeah. So in Hero Clicks, that's what you do. But in Dice Masters, it's not. I'm not teaching you how to beat me. I teach you how to play the game, and then you're taking your dice out and you're rolling them, and you're going to figure out which ones you want to use as energy to spend on fielding the other ones. And then when it's my turn, I'm going to attack you. I want to get 10 points or 12 points, whatever it is, before you do. And if you have no dice there, I'm going to attack you a bunch. I'm going to try and get a bunch of points. It's a little cutthroat. I learned this.
Well, yeah.
I don't need the cutthroat. That's cool though.
All right, I think we have one more here, if I'm not mistaken, and
Okay.
this is a good one. This has a lot of nostalgia.
This one is a blast from the past.
Oh yeah.
This is Overpower. And again, I don't know if Captain America, came with one of the starter decks or not. He probably did. But it was a collectible card game where you go out, you buy booster packs, you don't know who you're going to get. And I bought a lot. And what's really cool about this game, they made a lot of characters. This is the only game. This is back then. I haven't really done this, I don't think, with any game. But back then, once they stopped making Overpower cards, a bunch of fans did some cards where they were like, "Well, they don't have this character," so they did a bunch of reasonable powers on these cards. And I downloaded a bunch of them, and I would print them out, and then glue them or tape them to a card, put it in a sleeve, and now I have
Nice.
special cards for this character that wasn't the only game I've ever done that with, and I love it.
That's cool.
In years, but I want to.
Yeah, this was a game that we played a lot as kids, and this was for me. And I think we talked about this in the superhero video, but I learned a lot, if not all, of my comic book knowledge from you and your brother. During that time, and playing Overpower was definitely a new introduction for a lot of characters for me personally, where it might have been someone I'd never heard of before, or maybe I've seen like an action figure of, but didn't really know like what their name was. So it was good. It was cool because I was learning some traits and some characters and some backstories as well through just playing the game and talking to you guys. So that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was we started playing some card games. I played a few other card games with my brother, and then we played Overpower, and it was like, wow, it's another card game with comic book characters. We're just dumb kids. This is the greatest game ever. And as a collector, right, I've collected comic books and I need all of them, right? I got to go out. I'm not going crazy and buying like the ones that are like hundreds of dollars. Absolutely not. But anything with Hero Clicks and anything, I got to have it all. So I went above and beyond with Overpower, and the bad thing about Overpower is you can play the game and you can have this special souped up deck that you made, and everything that's in it, and you got the same card over and over and over again because I can block this attack, and you can really make a cheap deck. But if you don't play against the kind of person that would make that kind of deck, and you just make a fun deck that has a theme, right? You get to pick 4 characters. I want to pick these 4 because they were in this team together, or
right.
Or it's these 3, and then this one. There's a relationship, whatever, and that's a lot of the fun is coming up with that team to play as. And if you play with the right people, it's a great game, really fun. Spent a lot of time making the deck for a fairly quick game. You have to play a few times. But
I wonder if this game will ever see the light of day again in a new version.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
So what is your final July 4th / Independence Day board game of the day?
All right. So this one is a 2-player only game. It has, I should say, Americana right there in the title. And that is the Patchwork Americana edition, which again is just like the regular Patchwork game. There's actually a Christmas version as well. All 3 are the same. mechanics, gameplay is the same. The only thing that's different is the artwork. So in this game, you're going to be adding to your personal quilt board these different polyomino shaped pieces that cost money to buy. In this game, money is your buttons, and that's how you win, actually, is getting the most buttons at the end. So you add these to your board. You're trying to fill in the whole thing if possible, which is pretty much never going to happen. At the end of the game, you're going to get points for all the buttons that you have, minus, and a big minus, you'll lose 2 points per square that's not covered up on your player board. This game is brutal in that aspect. You lose a lot of points at the end. It's basically who's going to lose less points is going to be the winner for this one. But because it has that Americana skin to it, it's a great one to get out to the table. It looks really cool when it's done. Every quilt you make in the game is going to be different from game to game in terms of the arrangement and how they look. And you can flip them around and reverse them. I don't know. There's a lot of creativity in this one.
Yeah, I love Patchwork. I have the Christmas edition, the regular one. There's no difference other than just the skin. It's, the Christmas presents in the Christmas one. And I love it because it's already a good game. It's already a good two-player game. It's a little mean at times, but it's cool. It's got, polyomino pieces.
Yeah, it can be
two players. This is great. So I've actually never really taken a good look at this game until you just brought up the pictures right now. And we're going to get it right. Every time I go to the store, I'm just waiting to find it for like $20 or less. Cause I think it's like $25 at Target. I haven't seen it in a lot of places, and it's going to be in the collection because it looks really cool. And I don't really have a lot of very American themed board games. I got the clothes and the sunglasses, but not the board games.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we talked about, the whole Independence Day thing, and we know there's a ton of Revolutionary War scenario games out there. But in terms of, just splashing the colors and the stars and stripes on things, something like Patchwork with a really thin theme is kind of all you need, right? Because you just want to see those colors, basically, at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be super complex. It just has to look good.
Yeah, I think 100% agree. And that's why, like I said, I'm going to get this game eventually. We haven't seen it for the price that we want to get it for. We're not going to spend, $25 on. I know it's only 5 hours, but we already have 2 versions of Patchwork. We don't need it that bad. But if it's on sale, you bet we're going to get it.
So what is the next version of Patchwork that you think will come out? Next skin?
Halloween.
Yeah, maybe. So there you have it, friends. Those are 4 games about July 4th, Americana-type themes. A reminder that this is only theme 1 of the 7 themes of summer. We've got 6 more themes to come, followed by that live wrap-up show on August 18th, where we would love, love, love to feature some of your comments. So please let us know below this video and all the ones that come after this, what are your favorite games for that particular theme? Do you have a July 4th game? Any summer games you like to get out? Anything you want to tell us about summer at all? We just want to hear from you. Eric, anything else you'd like to add before we call it quits?
Have a happy July 4th, everybody.
And be safe.
And be safe.
All right, folks. See you next time.
Eat lots of hot dogs.